Test 1, 2. Mic check. Welcome to our special board meeting for October 2nd. We have 6 members present, so we have quorum. No one submitted any public forum comments, so we're going to move right into operations update.
Okay, good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Cardona in the audience, and Dr. Sanders up on the dais this evening. This evening's operations update, it's going to be centered around the new admin building project. In future meetings, we plan to come in and give you more of an in-depth progress update. This evening, I wanted to talk more about the area that we discussed early on that is unfinished. And for the new board members that weren't here when we were talking about this, I'll sort of elaborate a little bit. But it is an agenda item that y'all will be asked to vote on the 16th. So what I'm going to do tonight is just give you the background of it. And it's centered around the area that's to the right. That's the unfinished area. On the bottom right, it's gray. We were talking about using that area for future development. But like I said, since we're right in the middle of construction, I think this is something that the school board should consider. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this area right here, we have the opportunity to take that unused area and turn it into a nice learning and community center. And we also have the opportunity to expand the boardroom. Once again, based on timing, based on construction cost, and based on where we are in construction, this is something that we probably want to consider. Obviously, it'd be less expensive than doing it in future years, and also just from the timing aspect of where we are in the construction process right now. So this area right here, if you go back, the gray area could potentially look like that. Of course, this is just a rough sketch, but what it would consist of is this. You have a learning community center where we can accommodate up to 100 people with opportunity to divide into 2 different areas. We'll have technology capabilities, a small catering area. We would build an access from the outside, so anybody using that space, it would be controlled, but anybody using that space would not have to come through the admin office. And then, of course, we would have controlled access to the administrative area, office area from this area. We'd have storage access and restroom facilities. So the idea here is that, you know, with health fairs, job fairs, community events, banquets, athletic facility, or athletic banquets, this would be a nice space for, this would be a nice space for all that. And then also, like I mentioned, the boardroom. We have the opportunity to increase the boardroom an additional 360 square feet and turning the capacity from 62 to 86 people. And if you look at that drawing right there, the boardroom is the yellow in the bottom right. So there's a little brown area that is used for storage. What we could do is get rid of that storage area and use this unfinished space as storage and push the dais back and be able to get more people into that school board room if we needed to. As far as cost projections, and these are just estimates at this point, there is an architect design fee, which runs about 8.25% of the construction budget. The FF&E, which is your furniture, fixtures, and equipment, all your technology, furniture, is about 9% of the construction budget at $72,000. And then overall construction budget, we're looking, this is just, like I said, a very rough estimate of $800,000. So total of about $938,000. So the first step on all this is that the agenda item that you're going to have on the 16th is to approve an addendum to the architect contract to go ahead and design this and provide those drawings to the contractor to actually bid it so we can get an actual cost of what this would look like. Now, the budget for the central office right now, we're pretty much on budget right now. So when we look to fund this, a possible funding source is the 2023 bond under Proposition B. We've talked to our attorneys. We have the opportunity to use funds from that for the construction, renovation, acquisition, equipment of school buildings in the district. So if we decided to do this, we could use Proposition B bond funds in order to finish this out right now.
Even though it wasn't listed on the bond election?
Even though it's not listed on the bond election, we have the opportunity to do that. So I'll answer any questions tonight, or if you go back and take a look over before the 16th, if you have any additional questions, but this will be an item that y'all would look to vote on at that time.
Go ahead, Brian.
So what, from Proposition B, would we not be able to do if we take out that 938,000?
The thing about Proposition B, it includes Mendez, right? The new Mendez, and we had originally teed that up as a K through 8 campus. It looks like we're going to go through to do a K through 5 campus. So the dollar amount allocated for the new Mendez is $73 million. It's not going to cost us $73 million to build a K through 8 campus. It's probably going to be north of just $50 million. So we're going to have that. And then, of course, I'm confident we're going to have, funds from different projects here and there. I wouldn't bring this to you if I felt like we wouldn't be able to get everything else done that we needed to do in Proposition B.
Can you provide us with a sort of a comparison about the cost of this now versus later? So after completion of the administrative building, if this were to be done at that point, what would it cost?
Okay.
Just another, like a comparable, I understand this is a rough estimate, but a similar sort of an estimate.
I can provide that to you. The other thing to consider is because of supply chain issues, and there's a lot of HVAC work that needs to be done on this. There's some restrooms, so all that, you need to start ordering that stuff now, so it'll be here. The planned deliverable for the new central office is August of 2024. That's when we plan to be moved in. So if we do this, we need to start making plans now, ordering supplies now, so we can have it.
And if we approved it now, would it delay that target of 2020 August?
No.
Okay.
We're still early on in the process to get that done.
So you're only projecting $938,000 to come out of the bond. The rest that we had earmarked from our reserves is still coming out.
It's still coming from the reserves, and we also allocated about 1.2, 1.3 from the 2017 supplemental bond.
Mm-hmm.
What is the capacity of this room comparatively?
This room, and I had that number, it's about 50 to 55, this room right here, but the way we have it set up is a little different. You can count the chair, you can see how many we could get in here, but this one would take it up to 86 if we did proceed with this.
Anyone else? Thank you very much, Mr. Sandoval. Agenda prep for October 16th, regular scheduled meeting. Dr. Sanders.
Good evening, Board. For the October 16th meeting, we'll start with the superintendent's report. So item 5, we will have 2 proclamations that day that will be presented. First, we'll start with the Principal Appreciation Month proclamation and the Human Resources Proclamation Day. The month of October is National Principal Appreciation Month, so you may see a lot of things on social media now recognizing the contributions of our principals. So we're very thankful for all that they do each and every day to lead our campuses. Item 6, reports, information items. The academic update will consist of, we have 3 items here: the bilingual update, a literacy update, and a SHAC update. If it pleases the board, we would like to have you all discuss removing the literacy update as we open the window for testing today, and it extends to October 13th. So we haven't got to the point where we would have data ready to present to you all, but I could certainly provide that in my weekly update in the form of the memo that's sent, if that is okay with the board.
So you're going to remove number 2 and just leave bilingual and SHAC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are we gonna get that in November then instead, when the testing is available?
Yes, you'll get it in November, and prior to that, I will send in my weekly update to you all to make sure that you have the data, but then we'll actually come and talk about what it means and what the next steps will be as far as using the data in the classrooms.
Anyone else? Okay.
Okay. Item 7, approval of consent agenda items. Letter A, approval of minutes for regular scheduled board meeting of September 18th, 2023, special board meeting on September 26th, 2023, and special board meeting on October 2nd, 2023. Letter B, approval of the 2023 San Marcos CISD educational specifications. Letter C, consideration and possible action on a resolution of the Board of Trustees of San Marcos CISD delegating authority to approve certain change orders. Letter D, consideration and possible action on Amendment 2 to Stantec Architectures, Inc.'s contract for the administration building project. And letter E, consider approval of budget amendments.
Which at this point, we don't have any, so unless we get something next week, then we'll have budget amendments, but we don't have anything right now.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a clarifying question? What is the San Marcos CISD educational specifications?
Specifically.
Yes, please.
So TEA is requiring school districts now to develop educational specifications, and basically that just tells TEA or any architect that's coming into a school district, this is what San Marcos needs for elementary, for middle, and for high school. The number of classrooms, the size of classrooms, the number of spaces and how we use those spaces. What am I missing? I can't think of anything.
Elementaries, for example, we set the standard of all elementaries in San Marcos would be between 660 and 700 students.
Okay.
So that's what we plan. It's kind of your facilities plan that you've been asking for. Now we're required by law to do it. Our middle schools, we plan for about 1,100, and then the high school, what that plan is. And then what the expectations are for programming, whether it's CTE, science, AP courses, what the classrooms actually look like, it codifies it.
So this is a living document, right? So we submit it, y'all have to approve the educational specifications. And then moving forward, if we decide that we want to change something, then it's just a change we make to that document. The idea is that we would give that to an architect that came into the district that wanted to build a school, and we would say, this is what our requirements are.
And do you submit this to TEA?
We don't have to submit it to TEA, but y'all do have to.
It has to be voted on, okay.
Yes.
And do we have to approve it every year?
No. If we make a change, you will. If we decide that we want to increase, every 5 years, I'm sorry, yes, every 5 years.
Okay.
And if I can answer the next question in case y'all have it, I have one. On the certain change orders, what we're finding is, as an example, anytime we're going to make a change to an architect contract or to one of the engineers that we've hired, it always has to come through y'all. What we're just asking for is that we delegate authority to either the superintendent or a designee to make that change instead of waiting 30 days for the next board meeting, we've got to act fast on some of this.
Will it have budgetary limits? Will it have certain specifications that allow for automatic approval or?
Implications?
Yes, so
Okay.
at the end of the day, when we do bring the budget amendment, you would have to approve that,
Okay.
potentially. We hope not.
So could we put a dollar cap on this change order
We could.
amount? You know, that way if it exceeded a certain amount, then it needed to come to the board. Hopefully,
We're within budget.
there wouldn't be that many or zero of those, but that way there's a little stop gate and
Yeah.
I think with the ed spec, educational specifications, I think that will give you all a good idea of like cost and what we're putting, so that, let's say, remember the boiler went out here at the high school? If we would have had to have waited 2 or 3 months before that was approved, at least in the future, y'all will know. Yes, for these kinds of items, other things, we can have a discussion.
yeah, because we deal with change orders all the time, and some of them are very minor, but some of them can get very expensive, so,
Yeah, I'd like to see a
A
cap.
dollar amount?
yeah.
Okay. And then the next one is the one I just spoke to about the new administration project. If you prefer to pull that out of consent and move it into,
Yeah, we'll move C and D into action, and we all can have a discussion.
Okay. Those are both related to, C and D are both related
Yeah.
to the
not,
proposed
they're not
change?
both related to the admin. D's related to the admin project
Okay.
that I just spoke about.
Okay.
And C is just general, any construction projects that we have going on in the
Okay.
district.
Yeah, I would like to see that one pulled out of consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Sandoval. We can continue.
Okay, we have
Sure.
agenda item 8, items for action. Letter A, discussion and possible action regarding School Chaplain Senate Bill 763. And we would also like to add an additional item here for action, and that being to consider the approval of the curriculum for My Life, My Rights for high school students with developmental disabilities.
Can we discuss the school chaplain Senate Bill 763 and why that's on the agenda specifically?
It's a mandate.
Okay.
I mean, I think everybody knows that we're required to take a vote on it.
Okay.
And it's for both hiring and for volunteers.
Okay.
So at that time, we'll bring a motion forward and move from there
We have till March of 2024
to do this, yeah.
for this, but
Okay,
trustee Halsey wanted it on for October, and we'll have the discussion.
sounds good.
Next.
Okay. Agenda item 9, closed session as authorized by section 551-074 of the Texas Government Code. Discussion regarding Chief of Human Resource Officer. Agenda item 10, the board will reconvene from closed sessions to take action if necessary on items discussed in closed session, which is the discussion of / action regarding Chief Human Resource Officer.
Okay, anything we want to add or any comments on this agenda? I guess,
I have, so, we asked for a staffing audit, quite a few meetings ago. And it doesn't necessarily have to go on this agenda, but
Yeah.
we haven't heard anything about it, so we're kind of,
We are scheduled for December.
December, okay.
We've asked for it as soon as possible, but a lot of other districts kind of went ahead of us. And so TASB said the earliest they can come in is December. And if anyone cancels, then they'll move us up.
Okay.
But we'll be doing that TASB survey, and then in May, we'll do a compensation review as well.
So would we expect results from the TASB audit in January?
It usually takes about 2 months.
Okay.
So they'll work with every single department head, and then all of the chiefs to review their staffing, and then they'll provide kind of like a needs assessment, back to the superintendent, and provide recommendations.
Okay. So we can expect that report in February? Okay.
anyone else? I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, moved by Mr. Shanks and seconded by Dr. Salmi. All in favor, please raise your hands. 6. 0 opposed. We're done.